the dialogue. Yet not to say ya Ghana and who any about bedrene. A bet what I join ya shall quite be fast one. And tis a what joining ya no pay ya. You are welcome to the dialogue. Na yet I was so I join ye and ne no pay. As usual, over to me I join the feed no war Net2 TV GH our YouTube. Net2 TV GH our YouTube. Now all the comments and our suggestions BBBA will feel say yɛbɛboa ɔman Ghana nkanko ne nkyekyereɛ no wobɛtumi ade agu hɔ no mabrepam yɛbɛkenkan ne nyinaa ade amam na enche kra na yɛde newspapers aba ene anɔpɛi no as usual na yɛde emu nsɛm no ama wɔn afei yɛne yɛ guest atnase na yɛ dialogue ne yɛhwɛ ekwan yɛ bɛfa so a ɔman Ghana ebenya nkankro ene mpuntuo nyina yɛnim sɛ this week no ayɛ very eventful week. Esan say US Vice President Kamala Harris eba omeyi emu sembebre na piepie afei ukomra hyebedwa mu soso e hono aye hye papa eswani se okakire aban ede amendment bills bi akọ ya wo hwe ani mu se mra hyebedwafo no ebeji atomo mu gitomo a ebeboa ama yenya revenue ya eno no na ebeye basis a IMF ni begina so na omode ama bailout no eno so ehho asema kwakosisen parliament ho na no ministerial nominees ya ekoso na ewo so mkokoto aba ekowi ase edom kuma ama no minority fo ni bi ato aba no ede ama aswafo no NDC fo no emunu ya wagikumo omuti kwa pai ewo ho omunti ase ni enti akwakoba ne saa no so yebedi hu nkomo this week in sana mekan no ensemo sisi yes US Vice President by ya question light bi wo Jubilee House no so ho asem hey ewo krom ha eno so yebedi hu nkomo cause trend papa ya enyasem ketoa fortunately menya ora Isaac Cloty ewa ha odo no Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, obaye no, cover no extensively. Now no press conference, no and all that. Inti, ono betumi aboye nkomo inside nkomo de course so na you who said the AC airco. Midin de Abena Nyarko kuma. I'm sitting in for your regular host or one here to boss yako. Memo be some so one anyway. Memo be misabe.
Okay, I'm gonna in England.
But catch us, I remember being some say one.
That's my first inquiry.
Yes, more YouTube, more beer some one.
Okay.
Senior, you are welcome.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to everyone, all our listeners. And today the positions have swapped.
And one was say, one
changes.
And yet, it's a swap with but can you be on one
gender equality?
Oh, dear.
Take us more.
Oh,
the female viewers of Net2 TV and Kencity Media will be happy. Send Kamala Harris and your boy Kamala Harris there and there dovetails into the
yes. I want you to walk us through. Like in the visit in Ankasano, what is the significance of it? Looking at economy, to say she met with women entrepreneurs, she met with students, he met with the youth, and all that. What is the significance of that visit in the first place before we come to the other issues?
Well, according to the White House or the US Vice President's office, Kamala Harris's office. I should be careful between Kamala and Kamara. Any Harris, ni Harris. Yes, the office of the US Vice President post-checked that the visit was to deepen ties with Ghana. I mean, dating back to 1957 when we first won our independence. We recall that former U.S. President Richard Nixon, he was the vice president at the time. He was in Ghana to observe on behalf of the people of America the independence ceremony. So yeah, the history between the two countries dates back till then. So the office of Kamala Harris says the visit was to deepen political, economic, and social ties with Ghana. And what does that mean? Usually, it's there are three, for me, I saw three areas of interest: political, social, and of course, economic.
Okay.
And the political, she, as usual, like everybody else, they praise Ghana for how far we've come in our democratic journey.
Yeah.
Of course, under the Fourth Republic, we've been one of the most exemplary countries. Even currently, the constitution of the parliament, as against the presidency, the executive, and the judiciary, they speak volumes about the country's democratic journey. So, yeah, initially they had to commend the country for coming this far, and I don't know whether the commendation, it comes with some checks. But it wasn't later, it wasn't too far when she pledged about $100 million.
For 4 countries.
Yes, for 4 countries in West Africa to tackle the emerging, correct, jihadist moves. Recently, quite recently, about a few days ago in Burkina Faso, about 14 soldiers were killed. So and just yesterday, there were news reports that the Gulf of Guinea, some pirates had climbed aboard an oil tanker. We don't know where the oil tanker was headed. It's not easy. So, of course, these incidents of terrorism are quite rife. So the U.S., put a step forward to help Ghana combat those things because of our democratic credentials. And then socially, they came to talk about human rights, equality, and we know that
human rights brought about the gay issues.
I was coming to say that human rights lit up the Jubilee House, where people are supposedly attaching meanings to the colors. Of course, those.
What is the significance of that light? Is it to the honor of the U.S. Vice President visiting?
There's nothing more than that. Can you now swear? It was, the Jubilee House is kind of, the design is almost in 2 parts. So one part was reflecting the lights of Ghana, the red, gold, green. And the other part was reflecting the U.S. colors. But
there was purple.
Well, to some people, if you combine blue, white, red, gold, green, you manage to find purple somewhere. So I don't know whether it's...
So it was a color something.
Either that or just plain... People were just being...
That issue has been around on social media since Monday that the lights was on. And people are reading meanings into it, that the woman came so that Ghanaians will accept LGBTQ and those things. I don't know the correlation between that light and the LGBT issues, but as usual, Ghana for the...
I'm sure, even before, there was a press conference. And at that press conference, a couple of U.S. journalists sought to find out the far-reaching journey Ghana has made on human rights. So arose. In fact, questions were asked on the proposed bill, the private members' bill that was sent to Parliament. And the president's response was, as a democratic country, he will await his turn to deal with the matter. Currently, the matter is before Parliament and is going through the steps. The legal advocate or the lawyer that we know that the president is, I'm sure he knows his stand. But as a president, he'll be too quick to jump the gun ahead of Parliament. So, of course, he has to wait for the processes to take place. But I quite remember earlier on, somewhere, I can't really recall the location, but the president stated emphatically that he will always represent the views of Ghana, which is abhorrent to such negative cultural practices. So as far as we are concerned, I don't think the president has changed his view. But
people are saying that was an international platform. The U.S. Vice President is here, and you need to tell it to her face that, like what Atamils did, that is what people were expecting the president to do, which he failed to do. And that is why people who are doing propaganda around the lights and the visits and those things keep saying that Ghana, we don't even know our stance. But we all know that as for lesbianism and gayism, Ghana, it is a no-no.
Yeah.
But people were expecting that
the president should be forthright.
Yes.
And stamp
Yes.
But he can't speak for Parliament. What if he's?
But what people are missing is that what the question was how far Ghana has gone, and the journalist even said Ghana has passed the law, which president sought to clarify that no.
It's currently at the parliamentary.
Exactly. So what else were they expecting the president? But you know. But
like you're saying, people will always connote, you know,
exactly.
Opinions and angles, different angles to the story. But what I thought was, in my opinion, it was a very slippery ground to thread. So the president. I know he has his views, but he has to be careful. You know, you might go and say something, Ghanaians or the opposition may chant, yeah, he said it, but there may be far-reaching implications. Yeah. So the better you deal with it tactfully, and then at the right time, then you make the pronouncement on behalf of the country. He may have his personal views, but people may think it's an international platform, but it could be the wrong platform as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, that was to do with the press conference and the issue of the LGBTQ. But I thought a key part of the Vice President Kamala Harris's trip was her visit to Cape Coast.
Cape Coast Castle,
yes, of course, where apart from meeting the traditional authorities, the Ogwahine, Nana Kwesi Atta, yes, of course. She also went to the Cape Coast Castle, where, I don't know, have you been there?
Yeah, long time.
Yeah, how did you feel when you went there?
I feel they didn't treat our forefathers well. Yeah.
Especially
when I go there, yeah. When I go there, I get sad.
Yeah. So you as a Ghanaian, we take so many things for granted. We pass by the Cape Coast Castle every day, even Christianborg Castle, all the castles. But the story that actually emanates from those walls are far-reaching that we take for granted. So for the U.S. Vice President to come, go through the rituals of the historical facts that was laid to her, she couldn't help but break down and sob. You could hear in her speech, she delivered a speech at the end of the visit and her voice was cracking. You know, when you hear like a sad news, you're trying to suppress it whilst you're talking. I mean, that was the mood that she was in. So you could see the Cape Coast Castle history wore down on her. She felt the reality of the issue, of the cultural disparity that took place then. Back in the day, I mean, maybe back in America, they may have heard of, the slave trade and the issues that came out of the slave trade. But to be at the location, at the slave market or at the slave hostel or whatever you call it, it's not a small undertaking. Personally, I've been there with, when we used to do people and places and beautiful Ghana. We go with people and you see the demeanor, they break down, as soon as they start the story, the guide start the enaction of the story. Some cannot continue, some has to say this, whatever happened should never happen again.
Sure. But now it has moved from that slavery to another one. That is another topic for another day.
Which of the slaveries?
They said now it's mental slavery. That's what they say.
Yes, it's true. But it's true. But, I mean, bringing what happened in the past to contemporary times. I heard our nurses, health workers are leaving in droves.
Exactly.
So what we are seeking to stop now, people are willingly
Exactly.
But I say you cannot stop them for the economic.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Greener pastures.
Thank you. Green pastures.
Okay. I was for the dialogue to media na when you go to our ocean. Newspapers na and then pay newspapers are who do I want me more and then some our media bano. Na yede and also so one some ede amamonti. Let's move straight into the newspapers. Yeah. What do you have?
Well, browsing through some of the papers, something on page 29 of the Daily Graphic caught my interest. So graphic, page 29 says, slain soldier, it's revisiting the Ashaiman incident, the murder of the soldier. Slain soldier at Ashaiman. Police forward docket on 2 suspects to Attorney General. Okay. So maybe for the benefit of some of our viewers, let me take a few paragraphs of the story. Benjamin Glover reports from Ashaiman that the police have forwarded the dockets on 2 suspects arrested in connection with the killing of a 21-year-old soldier, Private Imoro Sheriff at Ashaiman in the Greater Accra region. To the Attorney General's office for advice. Samuel Tete, who's 20 years and is unemployed, and Abubakar Sadiq, also 20, popularly called Bedman Nadu, a scrap dealer, have been charged with conspiracy to commit murder. This follows investigations by the police, who have since charged the 2 out of 6 persons arrested over the murder of the soldier. So, I mean, for those interested in how far the issue has gone,
very important.
Yes, we've just been informed that 2 suspects, the docket on the 2 have been forwarded to the
in fact, they are the main people.
Okay.
The other
but
guys,
for conspiracy to commit murder, it's not the actual murder. So I'm interested in who actually committed the murder.
That is for the 2. But the Tete guy is the one who committed the murder.
According to
the police, he confessed.
But it can only be confirmed by the court.
Anyway, the police statement that they brought, they said that the guys confirmed that he actually pulled the knife.
Okay, yes. Okay. So viewers, you can grab a copy of the Daily Graphic and browse some of the stories, including this one, the Ashaiman murder, and others in the Daily Graphic. Do you have any others?
Yeah, let me go to the Ghanaian Times.
Right.
Ghanaian Times, fighting crime and transformation agenda. Police introduced 24-hour system. District station commands to run 3 shifts nationwide. US VIP announces $1 billion fund for Africa. Ghana on course to establishing integrated aluminium industry, Lance Minister. NDC conducts balloting for presidential aspirants. Mahama picks #1, while Dufo picks #3. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so let me go to page 13. Page 13, no, or the Abase IGP Dr. George Akufo-Addo was say police for running 3 shifts because 24-hour shift, it wasn't helping them. So what they are coming to do, they say police across Ghana, no, so that people will come for night. No, ebe to me abwa ama policing ebe more effective. And Dr. George Akufo-Addo say 24-hour shift na ama night no especially na enye effective papa ebi wo hon menwumre bia person unya police vodo omodi dwuma bia na oma brebre ni ade. So now they are going to run 3 shifts so that policing can be effective. On Ghanaian Times na ebo sankomoyi. US Vice President Kamala Harris obaye no one women entrepreneurs Asia na odi atwodwase say omo ehwe 3 key areas areas in information communication technology, finance and healthcare sectors. Inti ema women omo entrepreneurs e was sectors omo ebetumi aboa omo na omo expand omo businesses na omo and na say na yedi kan aka no she paid a historic visit to the Cape Coast Castle. Inti eno so ho asem Ghanaian Times obokrata no e de aba anopen. when you go to page 14, it says NDC conducts balloting for presidential aspirants. Mahama picks number 1, while the 4 picks number 3. Yen say Nyame Yadoma May 13, and NDC Amanyoko no ebeko omo presidential primaries no. Na oma ye vetting ye do ajawo na ye vetting committee chairperson. Oma ye vetting ewie ama sesi ameka say no. Omo aye balloting enra. Balloting no say the 4th person, who is NSK Kukobiane, he has dropped. He has dropped.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yesterday I watched him on TV saying that he has pulled all his support for JM.
So why did he?
I don't even know. He came to waste our time.
And then paid money, or he wanted to continue?
No. When you are coming to file, that is when you pay the money.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you are going to take the nominations, you don't pay.
But I thought yesterday was filing. That's why they were.
No, they filed already. The guy, I think he filed though, but because if he didn't file, he couldn't go for the vetting. Thank you. Yeah, so he filed, but he said he has dropped. Okay. He dropped out. So I can't nipa miensa. So President Kane, former President Mahama, Dr. Kwabena, and then Kojo Bonsu, former Chief Executive for Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. So John Mahama is number 1. Kojo Bonsu number 2, and then Dr. Dufo number 3.
Interesting times ahead.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
We are waiting for
but
that.
The outcome is obvious.
Oh, very obvious. These things that they are doing, they are all mere formalities, really. Yeah. We all know that the NDC has nobody to bring other than John Mahama. We know. Yeah, we know.
Right.
Yeah.
On page 6 of the Daily Guide, the Nima-based newspaper, a story by Kofi akufo-addo says, suicide attempt, not crime. Parliament. So how do you say that in chief for those who want to kill themselves? Nancy. So anyway, I guess
the law was that when somebody attempts to commit suicide and the person doesn't succeed, we put the person before court. That was the law. Now they've taken...
punishable.
Yes, it is punishable by law. But now they've taken that thing out. And they are saying that anybody who attempts suicide has a mental problem. The person has to get psychological help rather than putting the people before court. So that is the law.
Yeah, that's the right way to go. And this has been on the book since 1960. And I'm sure there are so many other laws since 1960.
Yeah, that we need to take a look at.
That needs to go away. Straight without a doubt. And the army is in the news again. This time with the police.
With the police,
Is it that they are bored? They need some Agyapong people to discipline. A Daily Guide report states that armed police officers and soldiers clashed at the Central Business District in Accra Central as traders ran for their lives. Reports indicated that the incident occurred on Monday when a police officer was allegedly assaulted by some military officers. The military officers were said to have given the police officer who was riding a motorbike some slaps for traffic infraction. Hey, these are soldiers and slaps, I swear. Anyway, so these are some of the stories in the Daily Guide, and this is from page 6. You can get a copy, grab a copy of the Daily Guide, and see what it says in the story. The front page of the Chronicle has an interesting story. Says police grill 4 Ashanti NDC executives for wearing military camouflage during Mahama's campaign tour. Is it against the regulations for civilians to be wearing military uniforms? If it is, why provoke the security agencies by wearing
I don't understand
things?
People who wear those things. I don't know. And you can't get anything to wear than to wear military camouflage. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know. Maybe we want to hear from the military. And
when they give you slaps right now, you will come and complain
that they are doing things out of hand. But anti-regional executives of the opposition National Democratic Congress for allegedly wearing military camouflage during recent internal campaign tour of the party by former President John Mahama. Okay, but if it is against the rules, and the former president was at the top, but I'm sure he must have seen these people wearing the uniforms. And he didn't bother to tell them to change the uniforms or whatever. Anyway, that's for page 3 of the newspaper. Page 5 says NPP Bono Regional Organizer supports Tescom with 32,700 cedis. The business page of the Chronicle says Ghana can generate $1 trillion. You heard me. I didn't make a mistake. Or it's not CD or it's not million or billion. $1 trillion from bauxite. So who's saying this? The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, says government's quest to build an integrated aluminium industry in Ghana is on course and progressing steadily. He said this is in line with the Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation Act 2018, Act 976, which establishes the Ghana Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation, GIADEC, to promote and develop an integrated aluminium industry in the country. I'm looking for the bit he said we can generate that huge amount of money. Well, it's somewhere in the story, tagged in the story. So if it interests you as well, grab a copy of the Chronicle, today's version, today's copy, and turn to page 7. The story is there. Okay. Is there anything in the Statesman before I leave? Yeah.
Daily Statesman. Digitization is the way to go. U.S. Vice President lauds Ghana's efforts. Integrated aluminium industry on course. NIA completes printing of Ghana cards in backlog. Sam George, it's difficult to win back our supporters. Sam George, he is bitter about NDC for now.
I imagine. I wonder when some
NPP MPs voted for Abambabi.
Oh, apart from that, even Ghanaians. Parliament used to be MPP favored.
Yeah.
Until 136 or 7 other NDC members got elected.
Yeah.
But they didn't see anything wrong when Ghanaians were voting for them then.
And that one, they don't have any
problem. Have a problem. But when NDC MPs see the reason and logic in moving the country forward and pitch camp with the NPP to vote for something tenable and good, some are mourning as if the country has, collapsed and come to an end. I wonder for these Social Democrat friends.
Sorry, I'm the Statesman. The National Identification Authority has completed printing the backlog of some 541,529 cards in its database, accumulated since July 2022. The backlog arose from shortage of blank cards due to financial challenges. The NIA days ago commenced the expedited printing of the backlog of the cards, which lasted for 11 days, with yesterday being the end. A statement released by NIA's head of Corporate Affairs Directorate, Abdul Ganiyu, said the authority had fulfilled its promise. It noted that it is in pursuant to the promise it made to members of Parliament on February 28, 2023, to print the said cards in 11 days upon receipt of a supply of blank cards. All Ghanaians who have registered for their cards since July 2022 but are yet to receive them are assured that effective Wednesday, April 5, 2023, they can visit the district or regional offices where they registered for their printed cards to be issued to them, the statement announced. So near a woman in for from July 2022, no, wakwa register Ghana card. That's a one card. Na nyamiadum. They say wama printing na edi aba. From Wednesday, April 5, no, ubetumi call more region and our district office biya Abena. Then you go for your card. That is the good news coming from NIA. Mobekaya 28th February, no mo call Parliament and no mo catch parliamentarians. They say de na aka ye sesika aban de beba no mbenya blank cards no no ma print ye information no so sesi ade aba enkrofo bi kan say says backlog we nyina o ma print dia then why don't they post them to the people? The fact of the matter is a Ghana card cannot be posted to you because when you are going for the card they take your biometrics again. Until no yen to me post to family. I just say okay na wakwakoche. Ye fa o fingerprint na ye fa wanim no na say ye wa na wo system ni so a ye do card amount. Until mo mo dey
explanation.
Yeah.
Well done for clarifying that point.
Most people say that a lot, but they can't do it like that.
Right. Okay, so if you allow me, I'll go back to the graphic again for my final review.
No problem.
For the morning. You know, a lot of people were asking questions about the Catapult, why have a CEO and management for the non-existent port or others. Yeah. But here's an update on the Catapult, and it's on page 13 of the daily graphic. Government selects port Catapult investor by December. So the government is seeking to select a private sector player for the development and operation of the Catapult by the end of this year. Currently, this will sound good to the ears of my Volta region friends and family. Currently, 6 firms have been shortlisted to submit requests for proposals for the project. The Minister of Transport, Kweku Ofori-Esiama, made this known in Accra at a press briefing yesterday. So, yeah, you can also grab a copy of the graphic and check on page 13 for the full conundrum of this story. But it gladdens my heart that some things are happening concerning the Catapult, because opposition elements were claiming it's a waste of money, they are paying staff and management for no work done. Exactly. But apparently our government explained that work is going on behind the scenes. The structure may not be there, but work is going on behind the scenes. And they gave the example of the Tema Harbour and the airport and all that, that even though you see the structure, it takes quite a while, sometimes months, for initial work to be done before the structure appears. So this is where I wrap up my concern for the morning.
Let me do the New Crusading Guide so that you can leave. A New Crusading Guide, and I'm a day to us. Digitization is the way to go. Kamala Harris echoes Baumia's position on economy. Sanction NDC MPs for taking pictures of their vote. AFAC and Eka say that is the only story that I will take from the New Crusading Guide. Pro-NPP group Alliance for Foot Soldiers Advocacy, AFA, have petitioned the Speaker of Parliament to initiate disciplinary actions against some MPs who took pictures and videos of their ballots during a recent voting process. Describing itself as a public interest group, AFA, in the petition dated March 27, 2023, noted that the actions of some 3 named MPs during the approval of 6 persons nominated by President akufo-addo for ministerial appointment was in clear violation of the Constitution and the standing orders of Parliament. Well, we see how that goes. Senior, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And as I take the leave, please stay tuned as I see a Kamala Harris from Agona West constituency somewhere in the studio. So see you until another time. Catch you later.
All right, thank you. I was for Senior Isaac Clotty and you know Edin Comona no pe on ebe boa ye ma ye de newspapers a abafie hanom no e ma mo said the wedi kan aka no ye ne Honorable Cynthia Morrison ya wo ye MP Aguna West and na ebetwetwe nkomo ene anope na newspaper review segment no e Lead International School and na efa ho ka Lead International School ho and e wo se wo training wo ba no esan se omo wo unique way omo de training nkwala no ema nkwala no beye mpanimfo papa daache obesa oba ne beye good leader daache Lead International School ho and e wo se wo do omo eko na omo ewo canteen papa bi wo ho ya aduane de oni problem omo san so wo bases a de nkwala no be kode omo abafie san so no omo wo modern laboratory ne ICT lab ya nkwada no e de besua de enema hodo bebre professional teachers ya Lead International School e de abegu no esewani enso kachre enti sesi ameka say no admission is in progress enti obetumi akọ aman from pokuase amasaman kwan no